Okay, to my friends on Lumberjocks, today I want to show you how I cut the wood for a lot of my projects that I do. I cut it out of the local birch that I have on my property here on an old-time, obsolete type sawmill. I put this sawmill together probably 1975, whatever makes that, 30 years ago or so. And I've had to rebuild it once since then. Anyway, it's still operational, and you could almost call it my scrap iron lathe. Scrap iron sawmill, similar as I made that lathe out of scrap iron. I scrounged all the parts for this sawmill from various sites, people's backyards, etc. and some old sawmill sites that had been dismantled. Found something here and something there, and patterned it after what they call a little giant type feedworks on the Carriage. So anyway, it's worked quite well for me. So I think it's just about time to get started, but before I get started I want to show you how I sharpen the teeth and also change the teeth. So we'll go and do that, and then we'll fire it up and get some lumber cut here today. Okay, with one of these blades, this is a 52-inch diameter blade, I believe. I'm not quite sure how many teeth it has, but I'm using every other tooth. This tooth, and then I skip this tooth. This is a worn out tooth, and then I have a good tooth over here. This allows it to cut a little faster and with a little less power than you would. Anyway, to sharp, you have to have a sharp, any type of saw, you need sharp teeth. And this I can just sharpen myself with a large file. So I just sit on this side and cross the tooth. That's all there is to it. Okay, we're just going to show you a close-up of what the teeth look like. This particular tooth, as you can see, is pretty well totally wore out. This is your new tooth, and it's got a nice long tip there. It's got lots of sharpening part there. This type of tooth is called a Sawmilling tooth, and you'll notice the difference from this one. This one has this little piece taken out of it there. This one doesn't have it. I'm going to show you the difference between the two and how they're both changed here. The reason I've got a bunch of these is because I scrounged them up from somewhere, and I'd run out of this type. So I took all my inserts and I reground them to the right shape to use these bits. It was a lot cheaper than buying a whole set of 100 bits. And you kind of use what you have in this business here. Anyway, I'll show you how we do that. Okay, to change the teeth, I have to remove this insert and the tooth. And to do that, I use a special tool. Got a little hole in it here, and I'm using a concrete nail just because I need something stiff, and that will go into the hole in there. In this one here, I push the tooth out forward, and it comes out simple as that. Little tooth. It's got the little hook. To put a tooth back in, then you just put it on that hook, and draw it back in. Make sure it's in there nice and tight. Then tap, insert down. Okay, so to change The Sawmilling bit, it operates in a different manner. I bring the insert from the back and then take the tooth out. And then the difference is there's a little hollow spot in your blade here, so you can use either tooth. And this one has a little, the groove doesn't go all the way to the bottom. There's a little spot there where it comes out flush with that. So that can sit right into there. Then once that's in place, you bring your insert upwards. And that's all there is to it. This type of bit is a little better bit. It holds it a lot stronger because this comes up, and the way it's ground here, I had to grind these to fit. It pushes the tooth tight in here and locks it. And with that little thing there, it can't pop out forward at all. So it's actually a better setup there. Okay, well, that's all there is about changing teeth and sharpening. So let's get this thing running. Okay, another thing that a guy has to keep in adjustment is your saw guide. And that's underneath here. There's a piece of wood in two pieces of metal here, one on one side of the saw, one on the other. I often lay these out of some real hard wood or a limb from a tree or something, which is quite hard too. And then it's just a matter of adjusting it with an adjustment here, or you turn in to bring it into adjustment. So, and that stabilizes the blade a fair amount with the irregular shape of the log. So that's all there is to that. Anyway, I'll close that up, and we're almost ready to go. Okay, the first thing you have to do, of course, is put a log on the skidway. I thought I'd show you that first before we get it going. Anyway, I've used my tractor here, and it's haven't had it before, but last year or so I've had this tractor with a front end loader. So I'll start it up and put a log on. First thing, of course, you have to do before you get cutting is put the log on. This is a nice big piece of birch here that I saved from cutting firewood. If it's nice and clear on the bottom, I'll save it and cut it up for projects. So this takes a lot of muscle work. Of course, in a regular sawmill, they would have mechanical devices which will do all this, but I've been doing it like this for years, and if I don't need to do a lot, it works. Anyway, we'll try to roll it on. Now when I put the log on, I always put the larger end at that end. And if I roll it up tight against these blocks, of course it's going to be cut a little bit crooked. So I usually have a few pieces of wood around, and you have to put a little spacer in there. It'll equalize it. So we'll try that for a spacer. And once I got on, we'll dog it down, and we'll be ready to go. that was pretty easy. Anyway, I'll just make sure that's held on there tight there. Little tap there. Okay, well, I guess that's it. We got a doer now. Okay, what I'm running this sawmill with is a Chevy 350 engine, and then it goes through a standard transmission over to a V-belt pulley and to a 3-foot V pulley here. So that's my reduction. Anyway, and then straight onto the saw there with the power there. So for a little bit of safety here, I've put a switch over here so I can turn it off right where I'm operating it. So we'll turn that on, and then we'll go through the starting procedure, making sure it's in neutral here. A fancy stop here for keeping the clutch disengaged. And then we'll give it a little bit of Powerade, I guess. You need a little bit of goose juice to get this thing going. And then we'll give her a little gas here. this is what I ended up, the amount of wood out of those 3 pieces there. And that'll keep me in wood for projects for quite a while. And it's great fun, actually. It's a little bit heavy when you have to turn the big logs, but once you got it cut there, you got about probably 200 horsepower Chevy V8, and it's on that head saw, so it's something like a big table saw. It's really fun to hit a big piece of wood with a couple hundred horsepower compared to a regular table saw with a horse and a half. And it's actually a lot easier because all you have to do is pull back on the lever and away she goes. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this demonstration and see a little bit what I do here on this little place of mine. And when you have to cut your trees and cut your wood, dry it, you appreciate the projects that you've done a lot, because you've done it from start to finish. Anyway, well, that'll be it for today, and hopefully we'll be able to show you some projects made out of this wood sometime in the near future.